prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The American robin heralds the beginning of spring in temperate climates across North America. Its red breast makes it easily identifiable as the most disturbingly efficient murderer in the animal kingdom. Here, we see a robin rip a worm out of the ground with no moral hesitation whatsoever. This atrocity is but one in a series of cold-blooded murders this bird will commit in a single day. Although feces-fueled worms are themselves one of the most disgusting of all animals, the robin's cruelty remains indefensible. Some apologists might argue that robins need to eat worms to survive, but worms are capable of regeneration. So robins could satiate themselves on fractions of individual worms and leave the rest. But it does not. Unequivocal evidence of the robin's bloodlust.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say.
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. It's time for the Call to Freedom's Friday afternoon edition here on on LRN.FM. It's a wonderful day here, enjoying ourselves. Friday, so of course that means Jummah Mubarak to all of our Muslim listeners out there today. It is a wonderful day here in the Shire. Wow. So anyway, we, as usual, are going to be playing the sermon from today at the Malek Center here in Keene, New Hampshire. Very small turnout for services today. We also had, well, it was a pretty decent size, I guess you could say. The doctors didn't show up. The dentist brother did, but the doctors didn't. I made a factual inaccuracy, unfortunately, that I had to correct online. I guess it turns out there have been a number of new Muslim clinics that have opened up in different communities over the course of the last 2 or 3 years that I just simply had not heard about, which is my fault for not being better informed on the subject. But I made the comment that there were only 2 when it turns out that it looks more like there are about 7 or 8 in total. So that was my mistake. But this is the khutbah called Whose Plan Are We Really Following? From today at the Malek Center here in Keene, New Hampshire.
وأشهد أن لا إله لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا وعبده ورسوله الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام وبارك نبي محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Allah in His book says, Kul, say, O Muhammad, لن يصيبنا. Nothing will afflict you. إلا كتب الله لنا. Except what Allah has decreed for us. هو مولانا. He is our protector. وعليه فليتوكل المؤمنون. And let the believers trust in Allah. When we leave our homes, Allah. Place our trust in Allah. When we come back home to our homes, in Allah. We put our trust in Allah. When we sit in our homes, even here, Allahu Alam, an earthquake could come, and this whole building come down on all of us. Tawakkatu in Allah. When we leave our homes and we go out, we could be hit by a bus, run over by a car, or just fall over, dead. Khalas, done. Tawakkatu in Allah. We put our trust in Allah. And we know, or we should, that nothing comes to us, good or bad, except for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed upon us. Your rizq was written before you were born. The day you will die was written before the earth was created. Before Adam took his first breath. This was written. There's a hadith of Ibn Abbas. He's a small boy. The Prophet ﷺ tells him, come to me. Come here. Come here that I may tell you some words. And the Prophet ﷺ, he always preferred the young, the youth. And we know why. He would say, when I came, the youth, they believed in me. And the old, they did not. He said this in relation to an ayah where Allah revealed, subhanahu wa ta'ala, to us, don't become like those who, when they reach their age, their hearts become hard. Because that's what happens. That's what we do. I'm almost 40 now. And I'm guilty of it as well. As we go up in age, we become cynical. Funny, the word cynical, the Latin root for it, means like dogs. It means to be like dogs. So don't become like dogs. Do not allow your hearts to become hardened because of your age. Because of the sins that we commit. Because of the sins that we witness. Don't allow this to become the rust in your qalb. Now when the Prophet ﷺ, he goes to Ibn Abbas and he says, come to me that I may tell you some words. And he lets him know, if the whole ummah, and once the Prophet ﷺ had nubuwwah, the ummah was creation, was everything. Every man, woman, and child on the earth, the trees, the mountains, the rivers, everything, if it were to all come together to grant you goodness that had not become declared by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they could not bring it to you. And if all of them, every man, woman, and child on earth, all of creation were to conspire to keep good from you or to bring harm to you, and it had not been declared against you by Allah, they could not bring it to you. Know this. One of my teachers one time told me, he said, did you know the charitable man he's the man of courage. The man who works and gives fi sabilillah. He is the courageous one. You know why? He understands Allah's decree. And he has no fear of his provision. He gives because he knows. Whether I give or I do not give, Allah has decreed this for me. If Allah has decreed that my bank account should say this, I could literally empty it today in charity, and tomorrow it could be back again. If this was Allah's decree. We have a brother here. Many of us knew him. I knew him very little. What I knew of him, mashallah. MashaAllah, a smiling face and a kind heart.
All right, we'll be back with the rest of today's sermon from the Malik Center today. The Jummah Khutbah at the Malik Center on this wonderful Jummah Friday here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is our Friday afternoon edition, so that means we are listening to the Hutbah from the Malik Center here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We were just starting to get into a discussion. We had one of the founding members of I Hate You. One of the founding members, huh?
It hooks up to your TV.
Really? It does. Well, then I know what I'm going to be doing while you're at work. I'm going to be trying to beat my kids with a stick to keep them from touching it so that I can play.
Sounds good. I mean, the docking station I don't use for anything, so we can just leave it in your room permanently.
What? I want to play that new Zelda game. I know there's a new Zelda game on that. I heard about it. Anyway, so we'll get into video game stuff later.
You're talking about that one?
Yeah, and it's funny to me that's like it looks like a SIM card.
They're tiny. Yeah. Well, that's what screwed up about the Switch, is that
the video games are so small that you can lose them.
Well, it's that too, but it's that the capacity is also really small. Yeah. So most of the game actually has to be downloaded. It's not on the card. Yeah, it's really.
I hate those. All right. Well, getting back here to the sermon, we're going to be I won't explain. You'll hear as we are.
If you asked him at Ramadan,
thank you,
would he die and be buried in his homeland? He could not have told you the answer. When he left here, none of us could have predicted that he would not come back to be buried among the Muslims who live and die in this town. None of us could have told you that. But alhamdulillah, when he went home to his home, to be with his loved ones, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had decreed that would be where he began his trip in the akhirah. Among those whom he loved, with his family, to be buried alongside his ancestors, to be resurrected alongside his ancestors. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. This was Allah's decree. It didn't matter what the brother wanted. It did not matter what his plans were. Before the khutbah today, we sat and we discussed what were the brother's plans. Oh, he never stayed in Pakistan this long on a trip. But he had plans. But Allah had other plans. Allahu Akbar. Allah had other plans. What we plan, there's a joke in this culture. It says if you want to see God laugh, tell him your plans for the future. Tell him your plans for the future. This is, in a secular culture like this that is almost bereft of God, they still understand that you may plan, but your plan, if it is not in the will of his plan, Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, your plan means nothing. Your plans mean nothing. He ends it with, the pen has been lifted and the ink is dry. The pen lifted, the ink dry. Your life story was written before Adam was molded from clay. It was decreed this building would be used for a place of sujood before the earth was ever created. It was written. Allah wrote in his book, we would make sujood in this place. Alhamdulillah, this week, 1 full year, every Friday. A full year, every Friday, right here in this place. If you had asked Muslims 5 years ago in this town, they could have never told you that. They would have never told, because they don't know Allah's plan, and neither do we. We know our plans. We know what we think will happen. We know what we pursue. But as my brother pointed out earlier, we pursue, but we have no knowledge. It's in Allah's plan that we have no knowledge. Imagine if you knew the day that you would die. What would you do? What would we all do? Would we live for the sake of Allah? Would we deny ourselves? Would we sacrifice? Would we give? Would we abstain from what He has prohibited? Or would we do all the things that we wish to do and ignore His prohibitions, ignore what He calls us to, do what we choose, and then 3 days before death, do all we can to expunge all of the sin that we've spent our whole life creating? There was, and I do not in any way suggest people do this at all, but there was a scholar who in his home, he literally dug a grave. He dug his own grave. And when he would wake up in the morning for Fajr, he would lay in this grave. And he would imagine the dirt being pulled over the top of him. And he would lay there and he would imagine the trial that takes place at the grave, where the angels come and they ask you. And he would pray to himself, oh Allah, one more day, one more time to open my eyes, to worship you, to praise you, to give for you in your sake. And then he would open his eyes and he would sit up and thank Allah for one more day. The one more day that when that grave is his true grave and the earth fills his mouth, he will not get. That one more day that once we are lowered into the ground, none of us will ever get.
All right, we'll be back with most of the second half, at least, of today's khutbah from the Malik Center here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. When we get back here in just a moment, right after this.
Praise Him all day for what is and what was. Take hold of your iman, don't give in to shaitan. Oh, you who believe, please give thanks to Allah. Allahu Ghafoor, Allahu Rahim, Allahu Yuhibbul Muhsinin.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is our Friday afternoon edition, which means first hour is the Khutbah from the Malik Center here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. This is the mosque in Keene that was opened through a large interfaith effort with people from pantheists to atheists to Christians and Jews, all.
So I was about to say, even an atheist.
Yeah.
There's some Ethereum.
That's right. We've
technically
we had atheist donors. We had atheist volunteers who were there cleaning up. 18 to 80, blind, cripple, crazy, straight, gay, transgender, like literally like any kind of person just about you could think of. We even I think Mikey Luther even came, who's like he's
the Jew Zionist, right?
Yeah. He thinks I'm an idiot when it comes to the Palestinians, but
and there he was helping you wage permit jihad.
Yeah.
Zoning jihad. That was
zoning jihad. Yeah. That was it. Oh, Robert Spencer, you're always you're always good for a laugh. Anyway, so the khutbah today is about partially it's about the loss of a local brother, Ali Bai, one of the founding members of the Muslim community in Keene, New Hampshire, passed away in Pakistan while on a visit to see his sons. And while their paperwork was finishing up for them to be able to come back to the U.S. with him, he died of massive heart failure. So, inshallah, may Allah accept him.
That's terrible.
And his fasting and his deeds and his tawbah, inshallah. So we'll get back to the sermon from the Malik Center here on LRN.FM.
So take what Allah has decreed for you and remember, we do not know. We cannot know.
Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. Allahu akbar, Allahu akbar. Allahu akbar, Allahu akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah. Hayya ala salah. Hayya ala al-falah. Hayya ala al-falah. Allahu akbar, Allahu akbar. La ilaha واحصنا اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت سيدنا محمدا الوسيلة الفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وبعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على مبارك النبي محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين من بعد. So we understand what Allah has decided what is going to happen for us in this life, be it good or bad, be it wealth or poverty. It has been decreed for us long, long ago. The problem is that we as Muslims, we as human beings here in dunya, we try to see we see the world through our own eyes and not through the understanding of Allah's plan, because we don't know. We don't know Allah's plan. The Prophet ﷺ, just because this is how I want to kind of do the ending of this. When we leave here, we deal with people every day. We have neighbors, they're good people. We have co-workers. Some of them, they're enemies of our community. They're people, they see themselves as enemies of our community. They see themselves as disliking our community. That we are somehow a problem for them, a threat for them. This is a trial for us. This is the way the Muslims saw it. If you went to the Muslims when the Mongols were coming in, they weren't, from Allah do we come, to Him do we return. This is from our own sins. If you read the writings of the scholars, when the Mongols were coming in and they were destroying the entire Muslim community en masse, just slaughter. Muslims didn't blame wealth inequality. Muslims didn't blame racism. The Muslims didn't blame any of these things. No, they blamed themselves. This is a trial sent to us for our own sins. We have walked away from Allah, and because of we have walked away from Allah, He has withdrawn His protection from us. I think it's a good thing. Maybe we'll wake up. What does Allah say that He sends when He sends these things to us? Why is it? So that we will turn to Him. Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal.
We'll be back with the rest of today's from the Malik Center right after this.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
The total loser's corpse contained no traces of drugs or alcohol, and a superstitious Delta Airlines adds busty mermaids to its plane noses. My friend, you look like you are in need of the world's finest internet news summaries. Please come in and warm yourself by the fire of knowledge. This is the Onion Week in Review. A new law passed in Colorado this week will allow residents with a doctor's prescription to purchase medicinal fireworks, saying that those in need of stargazers, firecrackers, and Galleria highlights now need only obtain a doctor's doctor's prescription, state officials expressed hope that the law would ease the suffering of those in need of huge, dazzling explosions. And in this week's op-ed pages, a man notes that, like it or not, we all die, then get dug up and molested. In other news, white male privilege is squandered on a job at Best Buy, and a local TCBY has missed the past 2 logo changes. Well, that's it for now. Goodbyes are bittersweet, my love, so I'll only tell you, for more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting here on the
We're on some studios somewhere broadcasting something about some stuff.
Yeah, we're here. It's Friday. I found out, see, my coworker, and by coworker I mean the guy that works one day every 2 weeks so that I can have a day off, called me at work this morning, and I almost had a heart attack because no one ever calls me at work. So I assumed the absolute worst, of course, as I was coming to the phone going, okay, why the hell didn't she call my cell phone? What the hell's going on? Oh my God, what's up? You know? And it's like, Hey, it's Desmond, and I'm going to be in Keene on tomorrow. You want the day off?
And you're like, yeah.
Yeah. And now my brain is just like, tomorrow's my day off. Let's take a nap. And it's kind of stuck on, tomorrow's our day off. Let's take a nap. Tomorrow's our day off. Let's take a nap. And it just won't go away. It simply will not go away. My brain is just stuck on, let's go take a nap. So it's a good thing that we've got the khutbah. It's a good thing it's Friday. So without further ado, here is the remainder of this Friday's. I guess I got to turn off Maher Zain. Yes, there we go. Here, without further ado, is the remainder of today's khutbah from the Malik Center.
This is why we suffer. Any suffering, our Prophet and Quran both have told us, any suffering in this earth comes from the sins of mankind. From the diseases that we see today that were never seen before, to the suffering we see on the streets, to those who hate our community, is all from the sins of mankind. From our own sins, and from the sins of others, and from the sins of previous generations. And yet this is what Allah has decreed for us. This is His decree. The Prophet ﷺ told us, he said, those who are the biggest enemies of Islam, those who oppose Islam the most, will be its greatest protectors, will be its greatest advocates. And we see this time and again throughout history. We see it over and over again right there in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Who do you have? Suraq ibn al-Malik, an assassin who came to take the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Fudala, who circumnavigated the Kaaba behind the Prophet ﷺ with a poison dagger in his cloak. Umar ibn al-Khattab. Umar ibn al-Khattab, who sought to take the life of the Prophet ﷺ, who worked to fight against the Prophet, who worked to fight against the early Sahaba, who later became known as Emir al-Mu'minin. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, if there were ever a prophet after him, it would have been Umar. This was Allah's decree. No one could have known this on the first day. No one could have known. No one could have known. Go home, pray for the enemies of Islam. You want to follow the sunnah of our Prophet? Pray for the guidance of our enemies. Pray for their guidance. Pray that Allah touch their hearts. I'll give you a good analogy. Donald Trump, Barron Trump. Abu Jahl, Ikrimah. When Ikrimah ibn Abu Jahl came to Islam, what did the Prophet always say to him? Did he curse his father? No. When his father was torturing our community, he didn't curse his father. He prayed for him. And what did he say to Ikrimah when Ikrimah embraced Islam? I always knew a good would come from your father. The greatest enemy of our tradition fathered one of the greatest warriors in defense of our tradition. A man who almost lost his life to retrieve a helmet that held just a few hairs of the Prophet ﷺ. A man that he had once tried to kill. Many Sahaba fell under Ikrimah ibn Abu Jahl's blade. He killed many of our Muslim brothers, only to become one of the greatest defenders of our tradition, one of the greatest warriors, fi sabilillah. So please, go home. Pray for those to be guided. Pray that they be guided. Pray that Allah touch them. We cannot soften their hearts. We can try. We do. We have people out there, they're willing to sell our religion out to soften their hearts. And we've got people out there that aren't willing to sell our religion out to soften their hearts. We've got people all over this country working to do these kinds of things. And we've got people working all over this country who are in our community who do nothing but undermine efforts to try to soften their hearts. We're like two different communities working against each other for the same goal. Pray for them. Let this community be a lighthouse to the people of this country. May Allah make this masjid a lighthouse, an example to the rest of this country. We live 1 mile in this masjid. We are 1 mile from the most famous neo-Nazi in the world, literally, who vows violent retribution in Rolling Stone this week. His front door is 1.34 miles from here. I know, I Googled it. This little community is the front lines, no matter if we want to acknowledge it or not. We may be 5-10 brothers in a little bitty town. This community is a front line, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. We must pray for these people. We must be a lighthouse for these people. I want to see 100 masjids in this country. I want to see Islam spreading in this country like wildfire. The new headline, Islam, fastest growing religion in the world.
This sounds great on
more
rural
Muslims than any
radio
other
in
religion
Texas
by
right now.
2070. What are we doing? We've got to do more than just have kids. Let's go out and convert these communities. By our example, by our prayers. Pray for these people. They are your neighbors. In the Dhahiri madhab, Muslim or non-Muslim, brothers did not want to go to sleep until they'd gone 40 houses in each direction from their home to make sure everyone had not gone to bed with an empty stomach. Our doctors in this country are worth billions of dollars. We have 2 free clinics, 2, in the whole country. 1 in Knoxville, 1 in Orlando. They're both open 2 days a week. We can honor our ancestors better than this. Our ancestors built the greatest buildings. We invented the hospital. We invented the university. Where are our universities here? We have 1. We have 1 university in this country. And where is it? It's in California. Why does it exist? Because a church gave them the building so that it could exist. A church. Our only Islamic university in this country from a church. Donated church building. Who are we? What are we? What are we doing here? We need to ask ourselves that. We need to stop worrying about what's this or who's that and just pray. Pray and work. Pray and work to spread this religion right here in this community. Pray and work to spread this religion at your jobs. Pray and work to spread this religion among your friends and your coworkers. Let us be that lighthouse. Oh Allah, I ask that you bring us a desire to be a lighthouse to the rest of this country. Oh Allah, I ask that you protect the masjids here in this country. Oh Allah, I ask that you protect the masjids all over the world. Oh Allah, I ask that you guide our neighbors to Islam. Oh Allah, I ask that you put your light within the heart of our enemies and guide them to Islam. Make those, as the Quran says, who are our worst enemies as though they were our greatest of friends.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. a public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, December 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.53 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,234 per ounce. Zen is trading at $4, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,308. Antiwar.com reports in a vote on Thursday, the U.S. Senate passed SJ Resolution 54 in a vote of 56 to 41. The resolution is a War Powers Act challenge to the unauthorized U.S. involvement in the war in Yemen and would require the U.S. to cease its involvement if a complementary bill passes in the House. 45 years to the day after the War Powers Act was passed, this is the first successful challenge to it. Several amendments were also voted on, with most passing and added to the bill. Senator Young's amendment clarified that this bill includes a prohibition on refueling Saudi warplanes, as both the administration and opponents argued that did not count as war. Senator Cornyn offered and passed 3 amendments, 2 mandating reports be provided, and a third that said despite this bill not being anything about Israel, the opposition to the war in Yemen was not meant to oppose anything the U.S. does with Israel. Senator Tom Cotton was the only one whose amendments did not pass, as both were designed specifically to undermine the bill. The first said the U.S. could stay in the war as long as they claim to be trying to reduce civilian casualties, while the second said the U.S. could stay as long as they were fighting the Shiite Houthi movement. Both failed handily. The passage of the resolution caps weeks of efforts in the Senate, including multiple votes, which were needed to advance the bill to the point where it would actually get a substantial debate and a vote of its own. The success of this challenge is historic, and yet it is incomplete at this point. House efforts to challenge the Yemen war have repeatedly been derailed by Republican leadership changing rules at the last minute to deny it a proper vote. This almost certainly means no House version will be entertained until January at the earliest, when the new Congress takes over. The Trump administration has loudly opposed this challenge to the Yemen war, arguing simultaneously that it's not really a war and that U.S. support for Saudi Arabia is so critical that it should not matter how bad the war is. Anger at the Saudis over the murder of Jamal Khashoggi is seen to have driven a lot of the last-minute support for this bill. The Senate also unanimously and without objection passed a resolution condemning Saudi Arabia's murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi and expressed the Senate's sense that the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was responsible for that murder. The resolutions passed mostly because the White House had broadly refused to criticize the Saudis over the murder and also refused to blame the prince, despite the CIA expressing strong confidence that the Crown Prince ordered the murder. Zencash is now Horizen. Horizen is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizen platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizen will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports Alabama's Attorney General said on Thursday he will take over the investigation into the killing of a man by police officers who mistook him as a suspect in a shooting at a shopping mall on Thanksgiving night. In a letter to Jefferson County District Attorney Danny Carr, Attorney General Steve Marshall said he made the decision after Carr admitted the presence of a potential conflict of interest and bias between him and other parties in the case. On Thanksgiving night, during Black Friday sales, a police officer in the Birmingham suburb of Hoover shot and killed E.J. Bradford at the River Chase Galleria, believing him to be the gunman in a shooting at the mall that wounded 2 people. Later, police said Bradford was likely not the shooter and that the actual gunman remained at large. A suspect was arrested days later. Marshall said in his letters that the officer who shot Bradford was either the charging officer or a witness in about 20 unrelated cases. The DA's office could be suspected of trying to protect the officer because his testimony might be important in the other cases. Marshall also said the DA had acknowledged personal relationships with some of the protesters who called for the officer who shot Bradford to be criminally prosecuted. Marshall said that in addition to taking over the investigation into Bradford's death, he was taking over the investigation of the 2 people wounded in the mall shooting. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Bewildered paralegal Caitlin Levy says that after returning home from work today, it occurred to her that oddly at no point during her day was she harassed, leered at, or made to feel humiliated or physically threatened.
It's weird. Looking back on it, I suddenly realized that not one strange man made a creepy comment at me or an obscene gesture or a sleazy look for like the whole day. How can that be?
The 29-year-old told reporters that even at points in her day when she is traditionally almost certain to be made uncomfortable by at least 1 or 2 leering male strangers, not a single such instance occurred.
I actually got to walk from the train to my office and never once catch some weirdo smiling at me or looking me up and down or slowing down his car to yell some shit out the window at me. I felt weirdly safe or something.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
All right, welcome to the Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour here on LRN.FM, brought to you by the Motion Project over at motionproject.org. That's a Mega Man 2 Dr. Wily theme. That's from Electric Rabbit, a little different than the one that we normally play.
It was.
Which is from Hard Trance. I don't know what DJ
He has a page on SoundCloud. That was how I found him and downloaded it.
Who, Electric Rabbit?
No.
Hard
the one
Trance?
we normally play.
Yeah. Who is it?
Give me a minute and I will pull it up.
What's he called?
People
What
should
DJ's
definitely
name
check
is?
him out.
Oh, God. I hate working with dust.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I do. I work with
you
dust.
clean.
Yeah, I clean. Big stores full of clothing.
I'm allergic to something at work. I don't know what, but
I've just been miserable.
No, just sneezing.
Yeah.
Just sneezing.
Aye.
Which is super annoying.
Well, the lead story today.
The name of the guy is on SoundCloud, Shun40, SHUN40. So check him out. I got to make that stop. Don't know how. There we go.
Oxford, Ohio, the Miami University trustees have just voted to establish a new Bachelor's of Science, a new BS degree with a major in games and simulation. The gaming major offers over 50 gaming courses.
How do you get that many courses out of video games? I understand, designing video games.
The school's gaming design program is ranked number 3 in the U.S. among public universities. In 2017, the U.S. video game industry collected $18.4 billion in revenue. So, yeah. Really, is that all?
I don't think being...
You've got for us.
I don't think game design classes is really the best way to learn to make a game.
Oh, here we go. Something from NPR. That's better.
You can't teach someone how to make music.
In gaming studies, its minor is ranked 16th in the world and 3rd among public universities. You're listening to 91.7 WVXU on NPR One. I'm Tana Weingartner. The program is now being spun off into its own major. And before you scoff, Interactive Media Studies Director Glenn Platt points out gaming is more than just video games. If you use a Fitbit or a store loyalty or rewards card, you're using game technology, and it's big business.
The healthcare gamification industry is expected to be a $20 billion industry by 2020.
What's up, Aria?
I don't understand the whole before you scoff thing because,
because a lot of people, when
because your technology is used in other things besides just video games. Yeah, but video games themselves are a hundreds of billions of dollars a year industry.
Okay,
everybody
the reason
now
why
plays video games. Everybody.
It's because when your grandmother hears there's a gaming major in college, what she hears is you're going to be paying $4,000 a semester to learn how to play Super Smash Brothers better. That's what when my mom, who's 69 years old and hates technology, basically, with the exception of her laptop that she constantly needs tech support for, because she clicks every link that pops up on her screen. She hears how to learn all the cheat codes for all the GTA games, as a major. That's what she hears. She doesn't hear programming.
Okay.
She doesn't hear coding. She doesn't hear any of that stuff. She hears gaming as a major. Well, to her, gaming and game design are two different things.
So I would agree, and I don't think that the article we're reading should refer to it as a gaming major because it's a game design major.
It's a gaming major. That's how the university refers to it.
Yeah, well, they refer to it incorrectly, I would say.
Well, I think they probably did that because it's really clickbaity. Yeah. Now they're getting lots and lots of hits. And
if you're majoring in cinematography or something like that, no, they don't call it movies.
You don't have to advertise. They don't have to advertise their new gaming major.
Well, they're a public university. They don't have to. They don't care if they get students or not. They're going to get paid by the state anyway.
True. Well, it says until now the program's been part of the Interactive Media Studies program led by Dr. Glenn Platt. Let's get back to the story.
Billion, just on trying to gamify. Hey, you should take your medicine, and here are some exercises to get healthy and rewards for that. All that type of thing.
Like computer science, Platt acknowledges this field could be predominantly male. He says Miami is intentional about gender parity. Currently,
What? What the hell does that have to do with anything? I also think this is going to be all male, and so that you guys can have a discussion about gender parity.
Yeah. Well, it means they're going to keep penises from entering into the program in the hopes that it somehow attracts more vaginas. I guess, because apparently that's how people program. They just spread their legs and drop it on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see how it's relevant either.
I wonder how
Evidently.
you bash out some code. You're gonna bash out some code with your vagina. God.
It takes a specially designed keyboard.
I'm sure it does.
WVXU.
Oh, okay. So they end with, and more guys than girls are probably going to take this class. So,
yeah, it's like
feminism.
We've got this new class on video game programming and design, and by the way, feminism.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, more men are going to take this class than women do. So hashtag feminism. It's like, well, is there a rule that says the girls can't take the class?
No, but the tech industry, at least originally, it's not so much now, was pretty hostile toward women. But I mean, that's not really the case anymore. It's just that women aren't generally interested in it, you know?
Well, you can't put a computer down for a nap. Did I say that?
Or you can't make a sandwich out of it.
Maybe. Yeah. We should really have Daryl do some post. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, so...
but I like designing video games. I designed my own D20 gaming system when I was like 12. Of course, I wasn't a girl then. And to many of our audience, I'm not a girl now. But that part aside, I do very much like designing games.
Oh, I love this.
Got one I designed now that's available for free on Itch.io.
We've been very gender sensitive and oriented in what we do. I think we've designed a program that works as a game program in a way that's going to be more attractive to women than a lot of other game programs, frankly. How exactly did you do that? Saying that you have the ability to design a program to be more attractive to a specific gender, isn't that transphobic and sexist now? Like, just the thought that you think that you know what women are.
It's definitely sexist.
There you go. Sexist, yeah.
But, you know, it's the good kind of sexism that places women on this special pedestal and places men below that. So, you know, that's totally okay.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at it and I'm going, wait a second.
I mean, or you could just have a video game design class where you teach people how to design video games and you let men design the games they want to play and you let women design the games they want to play. I mean, that could probably work, you know?
Yeah, but then how could we hashtag feminism?
You just have to stop telling them, oh, you want to design Barbie's new dream mansion, you know? Stop telling.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Do you know the difference between erudite and pedantic? If you do, you're probably pedantic. But seriously, a surprising number of erudite people mispronounce erudite, which has 3 syllables, not 4. Say erudite, not erudite. Because you are judged by how you speak, you want to avoid common misstatements, especially if you're a job seeker. For instance, do you know the difference between imply and infer? Only a speaker can imply, only a listener can infer. And when you say you'll be out of pocket, do you mean out of touch? Out of pocket means you're on your own dime, not yet reimbursed. And if anyone ever asks, why do you always answer a question with a question? You should reply, do I do that? Just kidding. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM. Watch out!
Only took a month. Yeah, we'll only get to play that every once in a while.
That's pretty long.
It's super long, yo. We're probably at a minute by. Oh yeah, we're over a minute. Oh my God!
Truly one of the best games ever made, though.
The first you know what a crick in your neck is, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, the first one I ever got, I was 10 years old, and I got it because I didn't own this one. I owned the second one, but I had a friend of mine who lived like 4 streets down who had this one who would let me borrow it.
Nice.
And I could only borrow it for 3 days. So I needed to play as much of it as absolutely possible in 3 days. So my parents went to sleep. I got up and went back to playing. And I fell asleep sitting next to my bed with my head over on the bed while I was playing the game. And I woke up like that the next morning and I couldn't straighten my head up. And I was 10 and I just knew that I had broken my neck and I was going to die. And I'm like, Mom! I'm like crying and screaming because I can't, like it hurts really bad.
Yeah.
And I have no idea why. And I'm 10 and my mom comes in and she's super pissed because the TV's still on and the Nintendo's still on and the game is where I fell asleep. And she's like, what is this doing? And I'm like, I'm in pain here. You deserve it, you stupid child. You know, get up. I went to school. It was awful. It was terrible. And I was grounded, and that was even worse because now I've got this game that I've borrowed and I'm not allowed to play it. I just had to give it back. And I got to like spend the next 3 days in excruciating pain and not be able to turn my head.
I had this one, but it had been dropped or something like that. I don't know what happened to it, and the battery had been knocked loose, so it wouldn't save. So anytime I wanted to play it, I had to beat it. So I got really, really good at it.
I bet.
I can beat it now in about 45 minutes.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I can 100% it in about an hour and 10 minutes.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
I've played the crap out of the original Zelda.
Yeah, I played it 6 months and still didn't beat it. Let's see here. So anyway, the story number 2 for today, this comes from the New York Times. The chase for talent is pushing tech giants far beyond the West Coast. I know for sure because my wife's brother, my brother-in-law, not my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law works for the tech industry in California, and they pay for him to stay here from Kenya. Like his immigration stuff, you know, like the sponsorship and all that stuff.
I mean, all of that's well and good, but what are they doing to attract vaginas? That's what matters.
Amen to that. The generation's biggest technology companies, Apple, Amazon, Google, they've long been tied to their hometowns. But now these giants are increasingly outgrowing their West Coast roots. Driven by a limited pool of skilled workers and a ballooning cost of living in their home bases of Silicon Valley and Seattle, as well as President Trump's shifting immigration policies, what the hell does that have to do with?
Nothing. I mean, let's be honest. The people escaping socialism to come here from Mexico are not going to be programming for Google.
In Silicon Valley. No. Oh, my God.
Jesus. It has as much to do with the topic at hand as, oh, by the way, we expect this new program to be filled with men.
Well, with all of this in mind, these companies are aggressively taking their talent hunt across the United States and elsewhere. And they're coalescing particularly around a handful of urban areas that are already winners in the new knowledge base economy, including New York City, Washington, Boston, and Austin, Texas.
What about Keene? We have some of the best people in tech here in Keene.
Well, this eastward expansion.
Because I'm here.
Right. Well, we've also got, we have the Satoshi Roundtable in Portsmouth.
We do.
You have Steven Zeiler in Portsmouth.
We do. Creator of AnyPay.
Yep. And one of the programmers for Ripple as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got big tech minds right here in New Hampshire. We were trying to have a blockchain Silicon Valley right here in New Hampshire.
We have the first Bitcoin embassy in the United States, I believe.
That is correct. That is correct. This eastward expansion accelerated
Second
Thursday.
in the world, right?
Mm-hmm. When Apple said that it would build a $1 billion campus in Austin, expanding its presence there to over 11,000 workers, becoming the area's largest private employer. Isn't it funny, and this isn't in the article, but isn't it funny that they're leaving California, one of the most unfriendly to business states in the country, and moving not to New York City, but to Austin, Texas, one of the most friendly and low-tax areas of the country.
I don't know. Austin's pretty liberal.
Austin is pretty liberal, but it's state taxes, not, these people
they're not like Keene and like, okay, we're going to tax everybody to death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Extract every ounce of fat and drop of blood possible. Says the decision followed Amazon's highly publicized selection of Queens and Arlington, Virginia last month for new offices that would house at least 50,000 employees.
Arlington? Isn't there like a military thing there?
Arlington, yes. Yes. That's where the national...
yeah, I don't want our tech companies near there.
Yeah, amen to that. Too late.
Yeah.
They're already in bed with them. Google, too, is shopping for more real estate in New York that could enable it to double its workforce. I don't understand why. Well, because it's Wall Street. The only reason to go to New York is because of the business sector that's in New York.
Well, I
That's
mean,
it.
historically, New York City was the immigration capital of the world. So the best and brightest from all over the world would come there to, make a living. That's no longer the case.
Not true. Not true. I would have to say that New York is easily one of the most diverse cities in the country.
It's still really diverse, sure. But our immigration policy is not bringing in the best and the brightest anymore, is what I would argue.
The immigration policies that come through New York are.
Okay.
The immigration from the South is not. It could be. We don't know. I mean, mixed in with those, those migrant families could be the next Alan Turing.
That's true. And we were laughing at the idea a moment ago, but we're not saying that, the people crossing the borders fleeing socialism are ignorant or dumb or stupid or incapable of being masters of technology or anything like that. It's just not very likely because they haven't been exposed to it.
Yeah, they're coming here for unskilled labor.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that their children couldn't be the next Bill Gates.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that, they couldn't make their money.
Free Talk Live.
It's obvious the government expects people to pay taxes, whether or not they have a law.
They are a band of marauders. They are a violent band of thugs, and in my opinion, they're a group of strangers. I mean, if I all of a sudden wrote up an invoice for you, Robert, and sent it to your house saying, you owe Free Talk Live $5,000 this year, or if you don't pay us, we're going to send some people after you to punch your face in. Would you cut me a check? I mean, because that's essentially what they're doing. That's essentially what the IRS does. They write a bunch of strangers, people they don't know, an invoice, and they include a bunch of obscure instructions that you're supposed to understand. And then at the very bottom, it says, if you don't follow these instructions to the T, we are going to charge you with a criminal offense and throw you in the clink. This is a threat. And I don't take kindly to threats. I don't know about you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Andros has again invaded the Lilat system. General Pepper has turned to a new Star Fox team, headed by Fox McCloud, to save Corneria and free the Lilat system once again.
All right, welcome here to the Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour. Here on
the only thing that's missing is the random noises like Peppy and Slippy Mate in the original SNES version. Like Jupiter Chairman.
Yes, Chairman.
They need that.
Yes. Anyway, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour. Good Lord, if I could breathe.
Did you ever play the second Star Fox on SNES?
Oh, the one that was so bad that they recalled it?
I don't know if it was recalled. I thought it was never released. I remember it being finished, but I don't think it was ever released.
Oh, the second one when they released, it was the one that was on the GameCube though, wasn't it? There was one of them.
Oh, that was Star Fox Adventures.
One of them was so bad,
and it was like Zelda, but with Star Fox and a stupid dinosaur following you.
No, this was a flying one, but it was so bad. You couldn't, like, the controller was so bad you couldn't play it. It's like one of the top 20 worst games ever made.
Maybe Cybermorph or something like that. That was on I think the Atari Jaguar.
No, they had one of the Star Fox games that came out and you couldn't control the plane. It just wouldn't fly right.
Well, Star Fox Zero is kind of like that because
maybe that's the one.
It's for the Wii U and it requires you to aim doing like this while you're piloting the ship.
Actually, I think that's the one it is it's the Wii U, and you can't, like, the controls, it's
Nintendo
impossible.
being Nintendo.
It's absolutely impossible.
Let's shoehorn this crap in. But luckily, gamers are stupid, so they put a, instant win button into the game, basically, and let you play through it on invincibility. I hate that kind of crap, man. Like Mega Man Legacy Collection just downloaded an update from Steam, and it adds a rewind feature. So if you die, you just press rewind, and it rewinds you, and you redo it. Yeah, it's like, come on, man. If you can't beat these original NES Mega Man games, which I will grant you,
they're
can be
really
pretty
hard.
difficult, then it's just not for you, So okay, go back to My Little Pony's.
I was so dedicated
first ranch or whatever
to the first 3 Mega Man games that I had a Choose Your Own Adventure Mega Man book.
See, I had a Zelda one.
I think it was Mega Man 3. And it was a Choose Your Own Adventure Mega Man 3 book.
I don't know if they made any for Mega Man. I'm going to have to.
Oh my God, they're so awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
I bought it at the book fair.
Played it over and over and over. Just, okay, I'm going to do this. Oh, wait. No.
I would try to play it the way that the book was. Like, I would play the different bad guys, because you can pick which one you're going to fight against, like which world you're going to go through. And I followed the storyline of the book, and it's still wicked hard, yo.
Oh yeah. Well, the second one is hard until you beat Metal Man, and then you get the Metal Blade, and you can just steamroll through everything.
That's the end of that.
I mean, it even kills him, Metal Man, when you refight him in 2 hits. I think 3 on hard, but yeah,
it's insane.
That's why they nerfed it for 3 with Shadow Man's blade.
Oh, yeah?
Gave it a shorter range.
Oh, okay. Okay. We're talking here about how Silicon Valley is basically taxed out of its ability really to... Because there's an exodus going on right now. The best and brightest of California are moving the hell out of California.
Well,
That's
you don't
another
have to
reason.
be
Texas is one of the number one states that people from California are moving to.
Well, you don't have to be in California to do tech work in California.
For real, yo.
And I imagine that's what a lot of these people are thinking, is that I'll just go do this from home. All they need me to do is write some code. I can do that from home.
Amen.
We use GoToMeeting or Zoom or something like that to have our daily meeting or weekly meeting.
Oh. You've seen, I assume you've seen Grandma's Boy.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, just making sure. You know, my wife bought me a copy of it, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I've never even taken it out of the wrapper.
Have you never seen it?
Oh, I've seen it 20 times. That's why it's never come out of the wrapper.
You know that match they have at the end about who owns the game and things like that?
Yeah.
The Notch, who created Mahjong, actually tried to do one of those with Bethesda because he had a game called Scrolls, and they were like, no, you can't use this name. And he was like, well, let's settle this by playing Doom. We can just do some Doom multiplayer, and if I win, I get to keep the name, and if you win, I will change the name. They didn't take him up on it. They were like, here's a letter from our lawyers.
You go play some video games by yourself.
And he was like, I made Minecraft. Here's some letter from my lawyers. And they were like, okay, you can keep it.
Right.
Dude is so wealthy, man.
What do you do, man? It says here, like Cambridge, England, some cities in the U.S. have also become known for a particular area of tech expertise in what has become a modern remake of the country's industrial era, when cities came to specialize in the production of cars, steel, and coal. Though I'm not really sure how the coal thing works when...
Yeah, you just kind of have to be where the coal is at.
Yeah, the steel stuff, like everything can be sent to Pittsburgh. The car stuff, everything can be sent to Detroit. But the coal, like, you kind of got to build the city where that stuff comes out of the ground.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. The Seattle area, home to Amazon, Microsoft. It's also known for experts in cloud computing services, thanks to Amazon's leadership in that field. Pittsburgh is now also known for AI because of Carnegie Mellon University's computer science program. Cambridge, Mass., associated with robotics, thanks to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Come on, say Keene, associated with cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Come on,
in New York, often where cutting-edge work on financial services technology is done. Translation: anytime the economy collapses, they design how to do that in New York. The search for talent outside Silicon Valley and Seattle has also been prompted by issues in the company's hometowns, which have not built enough housing to keep up with their growing workforces. San Francisco, San Jose, Oakland.
I mean, that seems like the kind of problem that would solve itself if the government wasn't in the way.
Well, you know.
We have too many employees and not enough places for them to live. Crap. What can we do about this with our well-paid employees? What can be done?
Well, see, but the problem is rent controls, and
that's why I prefaced it with, if the government wasn't in the way.
Yeah, but unfortunately, there are so many things that could be prefaced with. If the government wasn't in the way, this would be so much easier, or this would be so much better. The median home, San Francisco area, valued $1.4 million.
Holy crap! That's the median.
Seattle, $733,000. Questions also
How much money you people got?
Questions also abound over the quality and funding of the area's public school system.
Naturally.
Just an FYI, better public school systems, higher median home values. You do realize that's how that works, right?
I mean, we can just throw money at the problem until it goes away, right?
Well, yeah, pump more money into the school system. That makes the school system, quote unquote, better, because it's got a shinier, prettier school with white alabaster statues.
And they get these little jackets that have nice little crests on them. And
you do that, and now your $1.4 million home is a $1.7 million home. Oh, wait, you didn't fix the problem. You made it worse. Son of a... I'll be damned. Funny how that works. Anyway, we'll be back with more on the tech industry's woes in finding employees, mostly thanks to government intrusion, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour right after this.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
welcome back into the final segment of this week's Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from our Horizon.global studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. Now, we've been talking about the problem with finding tech employees. A lot of it has to do with insane housing prices brought on by ridiculous taxes. Big surprise there. And their solution? Let's do stuff that will raise housing prices even more through government intervention. It's a laughable, but unfortunately all too common, effort. Now, this coming from TechCrunch.com, a little bit different. Disney, the devil herself, invested in educational gaming app Kahoot, now a $376 million valuation. So when Kahoot, the startup that operates a popular platform for user-generated educational gaming, raised $15 million in October of this year, it was mentioned that Disney had a stake in the company by the way of the Disney Accelerator, and it had an option to become a larger shareholder if it exercised its warrants. Now, with some 60 million games on its platform, Kahoot announced that this day has come to pass. Disney is taking that option, working out to a 4% stake in the startup, a $376 million valuation based on the current share price of 28 Norwegian kroner. Shares of Kahoot are traded on the Norway OTC as an unlisted stock. It makes Disney's stake in the app worth about $15 million, although the actual value of the warrants Disney is exercising is smaller than this. Kahoot declined to comment for this story beyond the investment announcement posted on the exchange, but for some context, this is a nice bump up in Kahoot's valuation from October when it was at only $300 million. Other sizable and notable investors in the company include Microsoft and Nordic investors Northzone, which also backed Spotify and other significant startups out of the region. On the part of Disney, it's not clear whether its Kahoot stake will lead to more Disney content on the platform, or if this is more of an arm's length financial backing. The two have already put Lucasfilm content on Kahoot, and there are many more to come. The entertainment giant has made nearly 50 investments by the way of its accelerator program. In some cases, it increases those to more significant holdings, as it has in the case of HQ Trivia, Sphero, Epic Games, the company behind Fortnite, a very different take on gaming compared to Kahoot, Samba TV, and more. Disney has been dabbling in both gaming and education as vehicles to market its many brands, and also as salient business of their own. No surprise, given that one primary focus for it has been on younger consumers and their needs and interests. In some cases, it seems it may use strategic investments to do this. For example, with Disney-themed nights on HQ Trivia. Interestingly, although it doesn't appear that Disney invests in the Indian educational app Bijus, which itself just raised $300 million, the educational app, which has been described as Disney-esque, teamed up with Disney in October to develop co-branded educational content. Another sign of Disney's interest in the field, which to me personally is kind of scary.
Yeah, I don't approve of educational games in the first place because I think it's better to have a game that has educational elements or just, a well-designed game that requires thought and the training of mental faculties like Civilization or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Achieves the same goal, teaches them math, planning, strategizing without, being a terrible game, generally. Right. I mean, maybe things have changed. But I doubt it.
Kahoot's been around in one form or another since 2006. Originally as a gaming education concept called Lecture Quiz before launching as Kahoot in 2013. But it's seen a sharp rise in users in the last few years on the back of strong growth in the U.S., benefiting from a wider trend of educators creating content on media and platforms that they know students already use and love. Kahoot's last reported user numbers come from January, when it said that it had 70 million registrations. But its CEO and co-founder, Asman Foraseth, told TechCrunch in October that it was on track to pass 100 million by this month. Kahoot didn't release updated figures today, but my guess is that Kahoot has hit its target, maybe even passed it. And that's one reason why Disney decided to exercise its investment option. Kahoot's not your average gaming company. Some games are created in-house, but the majority of them are user-created. Kahoot's, in the company's parlance, created by the people, setting the learning tasks or those trying to create a more entertaining way of remembering or learning something. These, in turn, become the games that potentially anyone can use to learn something, hence the name. There have been about 60 million of these games created to date, a pretty massive amount considering that this is educational content at the end of the day. Kahoot has developed its business along two avenues, with games for K-12 students and games for business users, building training and other professional development, and a wrapper of gamification to engage workers more in the content. In practice, about half the games in Kahoot's catalogs are available to the public, and about half are private, with the split roughly following the company's business model. Games made for corporate purposes, those tend to be kept private among the business, while the educational ones, those tend to be publicly available. The business model also follows that split, with Kahoot's business users accounting for the majority of its revenue too. So Disney and Microsoft, so basically the devil and the devil, are investing in your child's education. And to me, that's kind of troubling. Yeah. It's as, if not more troubling than the government being in control of my child's education. I mean, I'm in control of my child's education. My youngest boy goes to kindergarten because he wanted to go to kindergarten. And what you learn in kindergarten is how to play. Kindergarten is ABC, which he already knows, 1, 2, 3, which he already knows, and how to play and have good manners with other kids. And that's literally it. And he's like, I want to go to kindergarten. I want to ride the bus. He wanted to have that experience of going to school like he sees on TV. But after kindergarten, he'll homeschool the rest of the time that he's at school. Because I don't want Disney teaching my kids. But oddly enough, my son's homeschool is Star Wars.
Well, I mean, this is the same Disney, right? That, made a movie about patricide and regicide and cowardly fleeing into the jungle and enlisting the working class to destroy the entire society, and things are only set right when the religiously indoctrinated prince returns and reclaims power.
Which one was that?
It was The Lion King.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you got Rafiki there to bestow divine rights onto Simba and everything. It's straight up statist.
It's Macbeth, isn't
stay
it?
in your place propaganda.
Well, no, it's Macbeth.
Well, it's worse than that.
Or Hamlet. Is it Hamlet?
It's worse than that because the hyenas represent, the lower class, the downtrodden. And Scar, in his greed and lust, plays the role of Marx or Stalin or someone like that, enlists them as like, we're going to take control. And then what happens? They wreck everything. Everything's just desolation as far as you can see.
Which is what really happens, though.
Yeah, but, then it's not set right because they overthrow the lionesses, and reestablish their freedom or anything like that. It's only set right when Rafiki, the priest, seeks out Simba and re-inspires him to seek his divine place as king.
Which is Macbeth. That's Macbeth.
I don't remember Macbeth that well.
It is. It literally is. Like, that's what Disney does. Disney takes classic storylines and retells them in a more PG way. There's so many of them. All of them, basically.
Hamlet is the one I'm more familiar with.
Oh, okay. Well,
and
anyway.
I had to think for a few minutes about what it was even called, so that should give you an idea of how familiar I am with it.
Well, when we get back here on The Call to Freedom, we're going to be talking about how much Democrats love to bomb Yemen and who were some of the dumbest criminals of 2018. Right after this.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, December 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.53 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,234 per ounce. Zen is trading at $4, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,308. Antiwar.com reports in a vote on Thursday, the U.S. Senate passed SJ Resolution 54 in a vote of 56 to 41. The resolution is a War Powers Act challenge to the unauthorized U.S. involvement in the war in Yemen and would require the U.S. to cease its involvement if a complementary bill passes in the House. 45 years to the day after the War Powers Act was passed, this is the first successful challenge to it. Several amendments were also voted on, with most passing and added to the bill. Senator Young's amendment clarified that this bill includes a prohibition on refueling Saudi warplanes, as both the administration and opponents argued that did not count as war. Senator Cornyn offered and passed 3 amendments, 2 mandating reports be provided, and a third that said despite this bill not being anything about Israel, the opposition to the war in Yemen was not meant to oppose anything the U.S. does with Israel. Senator Tom Cotton was the only one whose amendments did not pass, as both were designed specifically to undermine the bill. The first said the U.S. could stay in the war as long as they claimed to be trying to reduce civilian casualties, while the second said the U.S. could stay as long as they were fighting the Shiite Houthi movement. Both failed handily. The passage of the resolution caps weeks of efforts in the Senate, including multiple votes, which were needed to advance the bill to the point where it would actually get a substantial debate and a vote of its own. The success of this challenge is historic, and yet it is incomplete at this point. House efforts to challenge the Yemen war have repeatedly been derailed by Republican leadership changing rules at the last minute to deny it a proper vote. This almost certainly means no House version will be entertained until January at the earliest, when the new Congress takes over. The Trump administration has loudly opposed this challenge to the Yemen war, arguing simultaneously that it's not really a war and that U.S. support for Saudi Arabia is so critical that it should not matter how bad the war is. Anger at the Saudis over the murder of Jamal Khashoggi is seen to have driven a lot of the last-minute support for this bill. The Senate also unanimously and without objection passed a resolution condemning Saudi Arabia's murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi and expressed the Senate's sense that the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was responsible for that murder. The resolutions passed mostly because the White House had broadly refused to criticize the Saudis over the murder and also refused to blame the prince, despite the CIA expressing strong confidence that the Crown Prince ordered the murder. Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports Alabama's Attorney General said on Thursday he will take over the investigation into the killing of a man by police officers who mistook him as a suspect in a shooting at a shopping mall on Thanksgiving night. In a letter to Jefferson County District Attorney Danny Carr, Attorney General Steve Marshall said he made the decision after Carr admitted the presence of a potential conflict of interest and bias between him and other parties in the case. On Thanksgiving night during Black Friday sales, a police officer in the Birmingham suburb of Hoover shot and killed E.J. Bradford at the River Chase Galleria, believing him to be the gunman in a shooting at the mall that wounded 2 people. Later, police said Bradford was likely not the shooter and that the actual gunman remained at large. A suspect was arrested days later. Marshall said in his letters that the officer who shot Bradford was either the charging officer or a witness in about 20 unrelated cases. The DA's office could be suspected of trying to protect the officer because his testimony might be important in the other cases. Marshall also said the DA had acknowledged personal relationships with some of the protesters who called for the officer who shot Bradford to be criminally prosecuted. Marshall said that in addition to taking over the investigation into Bradford's death, he was taking over the investigation of the 2 people wounded in the mall shooting. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Hamburglar urges a Senate subcommittee to rubble. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Hamburger advocate and convicted felon Hamburglar denounced a prison system he called rubble as he testified before the Senate subcommittee on penal reform. Hamburglar, convicted in 1998 of breaking and entering a McDonald's hamburger franchise in South Beloit, Wisconsin, and currently serving a sentence of 3 to 5 years, made this impassioned plea before being interrupted by U.S. Senator Bob Smith of Rhode Island.
Certainly there is room for improvement in our prison system, but I would hardly call the current situation rubble.
After delivering his message to the subcommittee, Hamburglar was promptly placed in chains and returned to prison to serve out the remainder of his sentence in solitary confinement. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back to the third hour of this Friday afternoon broadcast of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Horizon.global studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It's the third hour. It's our final hour with you for this week here on this Friday afternoon. It's me and Aria. We got, this was one of the reasons I wasn't willing to support the Johnson Weld ticket was I wish I could just cue it up, the what I call status Tourette's when they were asking on CNN, like, well, what do you think about foreign policy? And Gary was trying to give some kind of a meandering answer that didn't really make any sense, and then all of a sudden Bill Weld.
What is Aleppo?
Right, and all of a sudden you hear Bill Weld goes, drone bomb Yemen.
Well, Bill Weld served his purpose. I mean, being to get neocons to join the Libertarian Party and destroy it. But, you know, he did serve that purpose well.
Right. And that was one of the reasons I wouldn't support
because,
them.
If you just remove a clip from an AR-15, it becomes a weapon of mass destruction.
It does. WMD all day.
Yeah.
You know, just like yellow cake from Nigeria.
What?
The yellow cake from Nigeria. That was the CIA BS that we used as a reason to go into Iraq in search of WMDs was yellow cake from Nigeria. That didn't exist. It never happened.
Yeah.
Duh. Anyway,
I think it's been well established that the WMDs did not exist.
You see, and we discuss this often. It seems kind of convenient how, you know, Trump is literally Hitler, but every time something comes up that would take some of his power to act like Hitler away from him, there's always just enough Democrats willing to cross the aisle to make sure that it doesn't pass. This time...
Is this about the farming bill that had the... We're going to turn a blind eye to Saudi Arabia's human rights violations in Yemen clause in it?
Well, 5 Democrats joined Republicans Wednesday to block lawmakers in the House of Representatives from forcing a vote on any resolution for the rest of 2018 that aimed to use the War Powers Act to end Washington's support for Saudi Arabia and Yemen. Now, the Senate voted to do so. And now the House has voted that we can't. So basically, they.
Well, it sounds like it was the other way around. And the House of Representatives wanted to curtail the government's ability to get involved in Yemen. And the Senate said, no.
Well, no. What happened
because
was.
That sounds more like our government because our Senate is just the House of Lords. I mean, they're there to uphold the state's desires through and through. We have some representatives who are there for actual representation purposes.
Well, what happened was the Senate said, we wag our finger at Saudi Arabia. And
I think it was the other way around, though.
The House was supposed to do so. Well, no, that's what they're saying here is that had the House passed it as well.
Well, they said the House blocked it, but 5 Democrats crossed
it didn't pass. The wag our finger at Saudi Arabia bill did not pass in the House. It did pass in the Senate. That basically makes it pointless and null and void.
Well, it's hardly a surprise, regardless of which house did it. I mean, that's the reason we have 2 houses, effectively, so that they can pretend to disagree on things while ensuring that what the state wants to do continues to be done and continues to be paid for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really the purpose of the entire scheme. And, you know, the whole reason we have the presidential veto is to make sure that the state's will is upheld above all else.
Well, I mean, what I've seen today is tons of liberals sharing the story about how the Senate voted to wag their finger at Saudi. And they're like, see, the liberals have taken over and now, but the liberals aren't in control of the Senate, by the way. The liberals have taken over and now we're going to hold Saudi Arabia accountable. But this story where 5 liberals voted to make sure that doesn't actually happen, this story they're oblivious to. Like, they don't even realize that it exists.
Well, the conservatives have no intention of actually, you know, doing it anyway.
Exactly,
it's their own
and that's
version
why
of
this
abolish
story.
ICE.
That's why this story's not being. I'm not seeing this story moving around among conservatives. I'm seeing this story is moving around among conservatives, and the other story is moving around among liberals.
I mean, that's the ultimate colonialist dream, is to get the local populations to destroy each other for you.
Well, what they're doing is they're blaming each other. The liberals are saying, well, we're in control of everything now, and they're taking credit for the Senate voting for something, and they're not even in control of the Senate. And then the Republicans are like, we couldn't censor Saudi Arabia because look at these Democrats. They're stopping us from censoring Saudi Arabia. They're not even acknowledging the fact that, hey, maybe if the Republicans hadn't voted for the bill to start with, it wouldn't have been, you know.
See, I just don't see it as a matter of Democrats and Republicans.
But the public does.
Yeah, but they're wrong.
Well, we know that, but we're there's the public, and then there's like the 3% of the rest of us that see what the hell's actually going on here.
True.
So, and my wife, bless her soul. I love her. She just doesn't get it, though. She's just like, but this is what's logical. I'm like, honey, you're not from here. Like, yeah, I know, but this is what makes sense. Like, why would they do this other thing if this is so much smarter? And I'm like,
well, neither side is motivated by logic.
Exactly. And that's why I keep trying to. I'm like, honey, you're trying to fact all over this drama, and it doesn't work that way. See, you can't fact all over my feelings.
No.
Do you remember? And I explained it to her one day. I said, you remember when I had that pastor that I grew up with, and me and him were talking on the phone, and you heard him with your own ears on speakerphone say, you can keep your facts and your gobbledygook. This is what I believe.
That is such a Southern preacher thing to say.
You can keep your facts and your gobbledygook because this is what I believe. And I'm like, yeah, but what you believe is historically inaccurate. Here is all the books say that this is what happened. Well, I don't care. You can keep your facts because I don't believe your facts. I believe that your people believe this. I'm like, yeah, but the books all say that we don't. Well, I don't care what your books say. I believe that you believe this, so therefore you do. And I think that's where the culture of feelings came from. We replaced I believe this, therefore it's true, with I feel this, therefore it's true.
Well, I would argue that is two ways of saying the same thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The American secular culture took I believe this with faith and therefore it is true. And when they secularized God out of it, they didn't become more quote unquote rational. They just took belief and supplanted it with feeling. So now instead of I believe this, therefore it's true, it's I feel this, therefore it's true. And you can keep your facts and all your gobbledygook. Because this is how I feel, rather than how I believe. I have faith that this is real, therefore your facts mean nothing to me. Now, when you deal with the left, it's, well, I feel that this is true. Yeah, but the numbers say that it's, you can keep your numbers. Fake news.
Well, I think we've done our entire species a disservice by not explaining to them that emotions are not a valid pathway to truth.
Emotions are truth. They're my truth.
Well, I mean, they're truly felt.
They're my truth, and therefore they're ultimate.
But just because you feel like your spouse is cheating on you or feel like your spouse would never cheat on you doesn't mean either of those outcomes are actually happening.
Exactly, or true. How many people are like, my husband would never.
No, he got chlamydia from a toilet seat.
Sure he did. Sure he did. That 1 in 100 million chance. Yeah. Anyway, we'll be back with more of The Call to Freedom right after this.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
Welcome here to the Call to Freedom. It's our third hour on our Friday afternoon broadcast. Broadcasting here from our Horizon.Global studio in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It's me and Aria here. We were talking about the fact that 5 Democrats made sure that they crossed the aisle in order to vote in favor of blocking an effort to chastise the Saudi Arabians and to prevent the United States from being further involved logistically, militarily, financially, weapon, whatever, that America won't be involved anymore. It was a 206 to 203 vote, largely divided along party lines. 18 Republicans voted against the measure. Democrat Representative Jim Acosta of California, Al Lawson of Florida, Colin Peterson of North Dakota, Dutch Rupperberger of Maryland, and David Scott of South Carolina all voted in favor. The measure was tied to a farm bill which had a provision tucked inside that said privilege did not apply during the remainder of the 115th Congress to a concurrent resolution introduced pursuant to the War Powers Resolution 50 U.S.C. 1544 with respect to Yemen.
I mean, if you read the other 6 points that precede that one, it's just a mess. Speaking of gobbledygook, man, what
a mess.
I mean, I'm a writer, and I can't even begin to understand what these people wrote down. It's just a mess. What are you people doing?
Uh-huh.
And why are we allowing it?
Privilege allows legislators to force votes, meaning the new measure essentially ended any hopes of the House voting on the war in Yemen for the remainder of the year. Democratic Representative Ro Khanna of California had recently reintroduced a war powers resolution for Yemen. The congressman blasted Speaker of the House Paul Ryan following the vote. Once again, the GOP is using parliamentary tricks to block our effort to end the devastating war in Yemen. Newsflash. America withdrawing its support won't actually end the war. Every 10 minutes...
No, but it would be a step in that direction. I mean, especially since Saudi Arabia still somewhat cares what we have to say.
Saudi Arabia was bombing Bahrain in the same way without our assistance from 2011 to 2014.
But they were using our bombs.
They were, though. They were using a drone base that we built in Saudi Arabia to bomb Iran with if we ever happened to go to war with them.
Buy your tickets now.
Buy your tickets now. So yeah, they were running sorties off of an airstrip that we built. So yeah, they most definitely were doing that. So anyway, we got a little bit of video here from C-SPAN of what's going on there. So let's take a listen to that real quick. Come on.
Americans around this country are wondering, what does a farm bill have to do with the war in Yemen? And the answer is absolutely nothing. You wonder why people are frustrated with Congress, why they think Congress lacks common sense. It's because no one understands why you would have a vote on a farm bill and you would tie it to a vote on war and peace in Yemen. The only reason the leadership is doing this is because they know that there are dozens of Republicans who will stand with Democrats to stop the killing in Yemen. How do they know this? Because Senate Republicans are voting to stop the killing in Yemen. I came to Congress because of my grandfather, who inspired me, who spent 4 years in jail in Gandhi's independence movement. And I came to Congress to say that America should always stand for human rights. I urge my Republican colleagues, look at the pictures in the New York Times and Huffington Post. 5-year-old kids, 7-year-old kids starving to death. A Yemenis child dying every 10 minutes. They tell us to wait till January. That would mean thousands of more Yemenis kids dead. I don't think this is a partisan issue. This is an American issue. Let's stop the killing in Yemen. Let's end the famine. Let's have a vote in this House so we can stop the civil war in Yemen and save lives. I yield back my time.
I like this guy.
Ro Khanna.
Yeah. I mean, he speaks emotionally. And I mean, he's right. When it comes to why we shouldn't kill children, the only argument you have is really, realistically, going to be an emotional one.
Well, I mean,
so,
I always thought
if you can channel that, good on you.
Why we shouldn't kill children is because we're human. I mean, what a brainbuster of an idea. Anyway, we do have a caller on the line. We're joined today by Rev from Florida. What's up, Rev? What are you thinking? Why do you think it?
Hi, guys. Thanks a lot again for yesterday, by the way. That was wonderful. I'll be really quick today. So I never asked you guys this. It's kind of irrelevant. I missed most of the show because of another show that I love that's not too far away from you. But I wanted to ask you, Will, and you, Aria, this, and I'm surprised I did not ask this of you both sooner. Sorry if it's off topic. Maybe a seemingly simple-minded question, but basically, what is you – because I know you're doing a radio show, and I know you have your ideas, but as far as practicality goes, what regarding libertarianism, right? So what do you think people could do in a practical sense in their own local areas and so forth? Like, how do you implement libertarianism realistically? That's what I'm asking.
I'm an agorist at heart. So, and basically, To me, an agorist is an anarchist with action. Like mostly what you see of anarchists and libertarians is a lot of keyboard warrior type stuff. You know, like they do a lot of talking and a lot of pontificating, but you don't see a lot of action. And no offense to our resident like hardcore campaigners in the room, I don't see political campaigning as a whole lot different. I mean, it's physically different because you got to do a lot of stuff, but I think as far as like actual results based, it's about the same as talking online and writing articles. I mean, writing good articles is work, but to me, like we've already got 500,000 articles on why we shouldn't have a minimum wage law, or why we should be creating state-free medical solutions. I don't want another article about why we should create another state-free medical solution. I want to see an American Abdul Sattar Edi. I want to see an American that can't read or write that literally goes out and just raises the money to create a gigantic ambulance system for his state that functions better than the one that's offered by the state. That go out there and create these solutions. To me, that's what real libertarianism is it's not the ideas and the talking about the ideas, it's the going out and trying to find ways, like here in Keene, using cryptocurrency when you spend your money, to implement those ideas instead of discussing them.
The CEO of Dollar Tree unveils the long-rumored foil baking pan. A new donor liver complains about the difficulty of working with Lou Reed. And a local couple keeps their marriage together for the sake of no one. We'll keep this as quick and painless as possible. This is The Onion Week in Review. A study published this week in the Journal of Financial Economics found that 83% of gamblers quit right before they would have hit the big one. Researchers confirmed that roughly 8 out of 10 gamblers who walked away from slot machines, poker games, horse races, roulette, and other games were consistently just a single stake away from winning it all, and unknowingly gave up a lifetime of fortune by quitting prematurely.
Our study proved that subjects who closed an online poker session, walked away from a slot machine, or even gave up gambling altogether would have won millions of dollars in the next bet. Also, people who walk away after hitting it big are missing out on a chance to make more money. I mean, when you're hot, you're hot.
In other news, an Asian guy has a separate group of Asian friends, and a vain Galapagos tortoise tries to pass for 90.
This is the Onion News Network.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm, I think you'll like it.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
To the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Horizon Global Studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been talking about the drone bombing of Yemen. This is another story, though, that I saw. And when I saw the headline, I was like, wow, finally, I guess we should be happy about this. Surprised that they had to write a law about this. Lawmakers, congressmen, senators, professional thieves, they'll now have to pay the bill for sexual harassment settlements. That's right. Up till now, if your congressman or senator got in trouble for shaking his willy at an intern and had to pay her $200,000, they used your money to do that with. But now, thank goodness, because Lord have mercy, I can't believe we needed this. They decided maybe we shouldn't be spending taxpayer money to, deal with these settlements. What a thought, guys. What a thought. Who would have thought that it would be a good idea to not use taxpayer dollars to pay off those kind of things? Anyway, I'm sorry. I saw the headline and I just had to acknowledge that it happened.
I would just rather they not get up to these sorts of things.
Right.
But considering that seems to be about as likely as, them voluntarily giving up their power and
the sky turning into rainbow
executing
sherbet
themselves with the guillotine.
Yeah.
It's great. As great as it would be, I don't see it happening.
Well, there is such a thing as a self-guillotine.
I know. I saw it.
Yeah.
That is a level of kink I am not into. I am good on that.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. So anyway, we promised some stories of stupid. I propose a game every time that you hear the word Florida. Everybody should have a glass of eggnog. Because these are going to be some of the stupidest criminals of the year. The first one's the best one, always. A wanted man applied for a job with a police station. That's right.
Oh, my God.
Bank of America reported that Alberto Saavedra Lopez to Arizona authorities in 2016. They suspected Lopez, then an employee of a local branch, had stolen $5,000 from the bank over the course of 3 months. Lopez promptly quit his job and moved to Phoenix. However, in early 2018...
We need that clip of Donald Duck going, "You stupid son of a bitch."
Lopez applied for a job as a dispatcher for the Cottonwood Police Department, despite the fact he was still a felony fugitive of the law. The police thought the easiest way to catch Lopez
was to hire him.
Was to schedule an interview. When he arrived at the station about the job, he was immediately arrested.
Wow.
Oh, God.
I mean, there is stupid, you know?
Yes.
And then there is that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They get better and better.
That's like having your package of weed intercepted by the USPS and receiving a letter saying, "Hey, come pick this up. We'll totally hook you up with it."
And people have literally done that.
Yeah.
Next, we got a story of a shoplifter. He used Play-Doh to block a security camera. Yeah, you can tell where this is going already. The perp left their fingerprints behind in the Play-Doh as they pressed the Just down the road in Leicester, Massachusetts, a shoplifter tried to block a security camera at a local retailer using Play-Doh. The thief then fled the scene, leaving the Play-Doh behind. However, they left their fingerprints in the clay, which the police used to identify them. The Leicester Police Department was apparently very amused by the incident and posted it to their Facebook page.
You know, I don't like cops, but how can you not be amused by that?
Right. Now, for weirdest crime by a dummy criminal, 3 people stole a shark in a baby stroller.
Hold on. Time out. What?
Right? 3 people stole a shark in a baby stroller and forgot to cover their license plate. In July of 2018, 2 men and a woman shark-napped Miss Helen, a 16-foot-long horn shark from the San Antonio Aquarium in Texas. Miss Helen lives in a tank that allows visitors to pet the animals, and the trio scooped her up in their own net and slipped her into a baby stroller. Officials worried Miss Helen would perish during the theft. She was placed in 52-degree water. She's used to a balmy 76-degree environment, but she made it through all the way to one of the criminals' houses.
Well, I mean, it's good that, you know, the shark didn't die.
Right. Authorities tracked down the burglars.
They didn't lose a hand in this endeavor, if you will.
Right. Authorities tracked down the burglars thanks to surveillance footage of the thieves' license plates. July 30th, police discovered Miss Helen in a large pool in one of their homes, which was also used to house other marine creatures. One of the men claimed he bought her, citing a clearly doctored receipt. Police arrested the 2 men for the theft and later brought the woman in for questioning.
Bought this shark. They had it at Costco. I got it on sale. This shark. I bought it at Costco. Because I didn't want the 12-pack they were selling at Sam's Club. And here's the receipt to prove it.
Right. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so let's see.
You know,
here.
sometimes I worry about the future of humanity, and then we hear stories like this, and I go, you know what? Screw it.
All right, this is the last one. This is the best. I'm calling winner right here. There are many ways to rob a bank.
Oh, boy.
Most of them can all be broken down into 2 general stages. First, you make a surprising threat of force to the bank staff to give you some money. Then you take said money and escape. Surprise being the operative concept here. Giving banks even a minute to prepare for your antics is guaranteed to result in countermeasures ranging from security guards and secret alarm buttons to full lockdown and the inevitable parade of police officers. Case in point, these two would-be robbers from Fairfield, Connecticut, tried to adapt a novel approach to the ignoble art of bank heisting. Albert Bailey and his juvenile accomplice didn't much feel like going the traditional "this is a robbery, stick 'em up" route. And, well, they called the bank in advance. Told them that they were coming. They called ahead to alert the bank of their upcoming shenanigans. Bailey called the bank to let them know that this robbery business was totally going down. After presumably being put on hold for an uncomfortable amount of time, he told the person on the other end that if the bank didn't give $100,000 in large bills to his accomplice, who would soon be popping by to pick it up, there would be a bloodbath.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
If you're looking for work, or even if you're not, here's an innocent mistake you really want to avoid. Never return calls before listening to your voicemail. Your wireless phone sends calls you didn't answer into voicemail, and it shows you phone numbers for calls you missed. Important. Don't call back callers you missed until you have first listened to your messages. Otherwise, you frustrate people who bothered to leave messages by asking them to repeat a message they just left as your voicemail greeting instructed them to. If you're a job applicant, this alone could be a deal killer. And even if you're not, there are few things you can convey to someone that are as fundamentally maddening as, "I didn't hear you." With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे.
Let's focus our discussion first on marijuana, okay? Marijuana has a very distinct smell, okay? I'm going to pass around just a little tiny bit, and I want you all to take a smell so you know when someone is smoking marijuana near you.
Time for the final segment of the final hour of the final show of this week's broadcast of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is time for the Cannabis News segment here on the Call to Freedom. And I got good news for folks just a little bit south of here, particularly folks next to my favorite Dunkin' Donuts to hit when I'm traveling south to go to Trader Joe's. Right there. And what's the little town when you go south, the first little town you hit where they got a cannabis shop? Right next to the roundabout.
You're talking about in Mass?
Yeah.
Lester.
Okay. Well, Lester. Lester. Oh, you mean Lester where we were just talking about a news story in Lester, Mass. Oh, that Lester. Oh, okay. Well, because I'm from down south where a CH actually is a ch sound. So Leicester is Lester. Here, yeah, I know. I forgot Worcester, that it's not Worcester, Tennessee, Worcester, Mass. I have a friend who's from there that I dated for a little while. Anyway, 4 more pot shop licenses. So, folks in Leicester, you guys are going to get a little relief finally. Traffic will go down soon. The Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission has approved final licenses for 4 more retail shops in Fall River, Hudson, Pittsfield, and Great Barrington. The commission signed off on licenses for Northeast Alternatives, Temescal Wellness, and Theory Wellness during a meeting Thursday at the State House. Northeast Alternatives applied for a retail license for Fall River. Theory Wellness wants to open a shop in Great Barrington, and Temescal Wellness is hoping to open shops in Hudson and in Pittsfield. The votes come just days ahead of the planned opening this week of the state's 3rd shop by Alternative Therapies in Salem. The first 2 recreational shops of the East Coast opened last month in Northampton and Leicester. Those have already generated more than $7 million in sales. It's pretty good, I have to say. I'm pretty, pretty happy to hear that there's going to be, well, I don't even know if you could call, could you really even call it competition? Because they're all going to have, it's all pretty state controlled. I mean, very, very, very state controlled. They really
there's obviously not competition if the state is the one who gets to decide who can and can't do business in a given industry in a given territorial area.
Yeah.
It's more like pretend competition. It's more like syndicalism, really, or fascism, if you would like.
Ooh, I got some cool news out of Baton Rouge. The Big Squeezy is adding CBD and hemp-infused cold-pressed juices to its menu, according to the Greater Baton Rouge Business Report. The company announced its new line of beverages will be available for selection at select locations in Louisiana next month. The Big Squeezy owner, Ash Shokri, is crediting this expansion to the passing of the 2018 Farm Bill, which completely legalized hemp plants. Blah, blah, blah. Congress passed the bill on Wednesday. Shukri said in a statement that hemp-infused juices will dramatically increase the health benefits for customers. He plans to expand his California hemp productions from 200 to 500 acres in order to meet the high demand of the product. Cannabidiol, also known as CBD, is found in hemp plants and marijuana, known for relieving health issues including pain, anxiety, and depression. Unlike THC, CBD does not make users intoxicated. More companies like Coca-Cola are also considering selling hemp-infused products since CBD's industry is expected to be worth $2 billion by 2022. So let's see here. What's the news got to say about this?
Patients across the country may be breathing a sigh of relief when it comes to treatment options for certain types of epilepsy. The Food and Drug Administration has approved the first cannabis-based drug, and as of Thursday, it's available in all 50 states. Epidiolex is a twice-daily oral solution for patients ages 2 and older who suffer from either Dravet syndrome or Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. During clinical trials, Epidiolex was added to 3 other seizure medicines. On average, it was able to reduce convulsive seizures by 25 to 28%. It is only available with a prescription,
Okay.
and while costly, GW Pharmaceuticals
but
does
it
expect
says
most
that
insurance
we
plans to
have
cover it.
Dead air, somehow.
Yeah.
Not really sure how, but it says that we have dead air. Yeah. Anyway, there's no way we're at dead air unless everything went down. I don't know. Are we still flashing? Ask on the chat room.
It's going to keep flashing until you're loud enough for long enough.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
just keep talk. Yeah, just talk. Okay. Right on. Arya, hi. How are you?
I'm all right.
We were right in the middle of a news story. I can't.
It's
I've
Friday,
had-
so I've
Yeah.
totally checked out.
I've had CBD lemonades and stuff like that before. I've had CBD coffee and stuff like that before. I enjoy it. You know, it keeps you, what's the word? Kind of even for the day, for at least for a couple of hours of the day. So like you may be wired on the coffee. Well, not wired, but you know how coffee is. You know, like in the first part of the day, if you're a person like me, you kind of need it to not kill people. I slowly drink basically a half a pot of coffee over the course of 3 hours while I'm at work, which is less than I would have if I was at home.
Sure.
But now they have CBD coffees that have a CBD isolate that's added to the coffee beans. And yeah. And you grind that up and
Well, I mean, they sell those each year at PorkFest at a place called Love Java.
they do. And we've had Love Java on. You can
We did.
check her out. Jessica Love at Love Java. I don't remember her website, so Google her up.
I think it was
LUV,
just
Love
Love
Java.
Java.
Probably lovejava.com.
Well, I don't know that she had a website. She was on Facebook as
Yeah.
Love Java. I recall that.
But the CBD coffee is good without the Kerrygold butter, without all the coconut oil. I don't like bulletproof coffee. It's so much oil that...
What is bulletproof coffee?
Bulletproof coffee is coffee with... It's got like CBD and coconut oil and
Oh, well, that's gross right
grass-fed
there.
butter. And it's just got all these different things in it. And a lot of it's fats. And it's supposed to be like a full meal, but it just makes me want to go like crap my brains out 2.5 hours later. You know, like somebody attached a hose to my butt and like just turned on a faucet. It's awful. It's terrible. I don't understand why people drink it.
Thanks for that, Will.
I'm telling you, yo, it's like an enema in a glass. And it's like, why would people drink this? And like, she's like, no, it's so good for you. It cleans you out. I'm like, it definitely does the last part. But that's not what I'm looking for in a cup of coffee, yo. Like, I'm looking for I'm not tired.
Yeah.
It tastes good. That's it. Like, I want to not be tired, and I want something that I enjoy the flavor of. I don't want any, like, if I want to be cleaned out, I'll go take a detox. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go take a detox treatment if I want to be cleaned out. I don't want to be cleaned out by drinking it's like I feel like it's a cup full of coffee flavored grease is what it feels like, I think, personally.
What?
Drinking it.
You're certainly not describing it in a way that sounds especially appetizing.
But people love it, yo. It's like the trend. It's like a trendy thing.
People eat spinach on pizza and pumpkin spice lattes. So.
Oh God. Anyway, so this has been your Friday evening edition of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We'll be back next week with more great talk radio for you. We're gonna have Clayton Hunt on at some point next week. From the special election in Texas. So be sure to tune in for that. I think he's going to be here on Tuesday. If you want more Great Talk Radio tonight, though, don't go anywhere because we got Free Talk Live coming up next.
Catch the Call to Freedom at its new time, weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m.